In Havana today for one of the biggest protest demonstrations staged in Cuba since the battle over Elian Gonzalez began. Speaker after speaker came to the microphone saying the boy is a kidnapping victim and calling for his immediate release.
How long will we have to wait? How long will he have to wait? What does the future of a child who has been kidnapped matter? What does it matter to those people in Florida?
The location of the demonstration signaled its importance. It was held at a place where Fidel Castro has delivered his most important speeches, including his declaration of Cuba as a socialist state in 1961. Meanwhile, Elian Gonzalez, the child in the middle of the dispute, played in the front yard of his uncle's home in Miami today as he waited for his future to be determined by the federal courts. Lawyers acting on behalf of the boy's Miami relatives are expected in federal court Tuesday in an attempt to overturn the ruling by Immigration Commissioner Doris Meisner, which in effect ordered the boy returned to Cuba. Attorney General Janet Reno has said Elian can remain with his relatives in Miami while the court decides. Officials in Havana say the Cuban exile community in Miami is delaying the inevitable.
It is a problem with a bunch of people that are defying your laws, your authorities, and the views of the majority of Americans.
With political involvement in the case likely to escalate dramatically once members of Congress return to Washington on January 24th, administration officials are hoping the courts will move very quickly to resolve this. John Palmer, NBC News at the White House.
Under the current U.S. law, Cuban adults who leave that country and make it here have special status. Increasingly, immigrants from other countries are calling the Cuban policy unfair. Here's NBC's Kerry Sanders.
In Miami today, Haitian Americans protested what they call unequal treatment. Thanksgiving Day, Cuban Elian Gonzalez arrived in the United States. He is still here. New Year's Day, 411 Haitians, Dominicans, and Chinese arrived off the coast of Miami on an overloaded boat. Within days, all but 4 who needed medical care were sent back. 7 years ago, a ship off the coast of New York City, 227 Chinese immigrants on board. All were arrested and jailed.
The United States has inconsistent immigration policies. First of all, it treats Cubans differently than people from mainland China because we don't get along with Fidel Castro, whereas we think we might be able to develop some relationships with mainland China. Similarly, Haitians are treated even worse because they're claimed to be fleeing poverty.
Why the different treatment? The Cuban Adjustment Act, a 34-year-old law passed when the Cold War still existed. It was a time when Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev and Cuban President Fidel Castro talked of how communism would one day rule the world. The law let any Cuban who defected and makes it to U.S. soil stay in the United States. It remains the law today.
I think that the Cuban Adjustment Act has outlived its usefulness.
It's always been our understanding that when Cuba is free, again, is a democracy, arguments could be made that the Cuban Adjustment Act could be revisited.
The Haitian protests in Miami this week punctuated by the faces of 2 children, a 9-year-old boy and his 8-year-old sister who arrived on that New Year's Day ship. They were sent back to Haiti, but their mother was allowed to stay in Miami for medical reasons.
Faced with complaints that black children from Haiti were being treated differently than a white child from Cuba, the Immigration and Naturalization Service has now made an exception.
Next week, the 2 Haitian children will be allowed to come to the United States. Their mother, elated. But for those protesting, it is not enough. Their question, why don't immigration laws treat everyone claiming political asylum the same? Kerry Sanders, NBC News, Miami.
The Elian Gonzalez case will be the main topic tomorrow on NBC's Meet the Press. The president of Cuba's National Assembly is among Tim Russert's guests. Now to Belgrade and the assassination of a man accused of committing war crimes in 3 Balkan wars. He was known around the world simply as Arkan. Today, he was murdered in a hotel lobby. NBC's Donna Friesen reports.
He was gunned down in this Belgrade hotel, shot in the head. Arkan, whose real name was Zelko Reznatovic, was a man with many enemies and many faces. Charming, intelligent, wealthy, married to Serbia's biggest pop star. His other face, a fierce thug, wanted by Interpol for murder, bank robberies, and jailbreaks across Europe, and the undisputed king of the Serb underworld. Journalist Tim Judah met Arkan several times.
This was a man who knew everything and probably knew too much.
But most notorious, Arkan's reputation as a warlord, suspected of committing many murders. He led a paramilitary group known as the Tigers, cut a swath of terror through Croatia, Bosnia, and its suspected Kosovo. In 1997, he was indicted for war crimes, a charge he always brushed off.
I don't give a damn if I'm the most wanted or if I'm the less wanted. I'm a Serbian patriot.
Arkan was a longtime ally and protege of Yugoslav President Slobodan Milosevic. Milosevic himself has been indicted for crimes against humanity. Also indicted for genocide, former Bosnian Serb leader Radovan Karadzic, as well as former Bosnian Serb military commander Ratko Mladic. Yesterday, the International War Crimes Tribunal sentenced 5 Bosnian Croats to between 15 to 25 years for war crimes dating back to 1993. These men are largely unknown. Arkan, though, was well known to many Americans, largely because of menacing threats he made to American NATO troops during the Kosovo conflict.
I want to warn you now, the next time you will have those bodies sent back by plane to the United States.
The course of justice is moving slowly. More than 30 indicted war criminals, including Milosevic, still remain free. Though if Arkan's murderer is any measure, being free doesn't ensure a long and healthy life. Donna Friesen, NBC News, London.
When NBC Nightly News continues in a moment, David Letterman's medical condition. The punching and counterpunching at today's presidential debate. And later in focus, mega fights over mega houses.
A flood could be a lot closer than you think. For information about flood insurance, talk to your agent or call 1-888-FLOOD-ALERT.
Okay, heads up. I'm quitting smoking. Again.
So, Dr. Jekyll, when should we expect Mr. Hyde?
You're looking at Hyde. I quit Saturday. This time, Nicoderm CQ.
Has Carol moved out yet?
Nope. In fact, she's tickled pink.
He does seem normal.
I am normal. This is CQ. Helps calm the cravings 24 hours a day, even when you first wake up.
Nicoderm CQ, the power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to help you quit.
Guys, relax.
I'm 64. Is there anything I can do to stop bone loss?
Absolutely. Here's proof. In a landmark clinical study, Caltrate actually stopped bone loss in women at risk for osteoporosis, whatever your age.
It's never too late for Caltrate.
Want to color your gray beard or mustache and get a natural look? It's easy with Just for Men Gel.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men Gel. No one can tell with Just for Men Gel.
It's not regular hair coloring. It's specially made to penetrate that coarse, hard-to-color gray. Simply brush in and in 5 minutes, rinse. Now gray is gone, matched up to the rest of your hair.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men Gel.
Upbeat reports today from both David Letterman and his doctor a day after the comedian underwent heart bypass surgery. Letterman released a statement and joked, in addition to rerouting the arteries, they also installed an easy pass. Jokes aside, heart disease is serious business. NBC's Hillary Lane reports.
He's just 52 years old, trim, and an avid runner. At first glance, David Letterman hardly seems like a likely victim of heart disease. But his surgery Friday was extensive, a quintuple bypass, a more serious blockage than most heart patients, but still not uncommon. The American Heart Association says each year nearly 400,000 people have some sort of bypass surgery. 44% are under the age of 65. 71% are male. But the risk for women increases as they grow older.
Unfortunately, the risk for women does catch up. in their middle years, and indeed equals or exceeds that for men as they get older.
David Letterman's father died in his 50s of a heart attack. Heredity is a major risk factor. Other major risk factors cited by the American Heart Association include high cholesterol, above 200, high blood pressure, physical inactivity, and smoking. What frustrates heart surgeons like Hillel Lax is that Americans seem to ignore the risks.
We're talking about a huge scale of lack of proper care and nutrition.
To improve that, doctors recommend cutting fat consumption and exercising more. Outside the theater where The Late Show is taped, the local merchants Letterman has made into frequent guests wait for the host to return.
Hey, we need you here. Come back.
We miss him already.
Dave, this is Muzibar. I wish you all the best.
While the recovery time varies with every patient, it's likely that David Letterman will spend another 4 to 5 days here at the hospital and then 6 to 8 weeks recuperating at home. Hillary Lane, NBC News, New York.
Just over a week to go before voters in Iowa start the presidential election process. The 6 men seeking the Republican nomination held a TV debate there today. NBC's Nora O'Donnell reports.
Gentlemen, thanks for being with us today.
In Iowa, the Republican candidates wage a last-ditch effort for attention. Senator John McCain on the offensive, accusing Governor George Bush of a Texas two-step on taxes.
Governor Bush's plan has not 1 penny for Social Security, not 1 penny for Medicare, and not 1 penny for paying down the national debt. And when you run ads say you're going to take care of Social Security, my friend, that's all hat and no cattle.
That's cute, but...
You know, they're always cutest when they're true.
It's not true, John.
Yeah,
I got $2 trillion
is.
set aside for Social Security. My question...
The tone combative because the stakes are high. Just over 1 week left until the Iowa caucuses.
Remember, George W. Bush came to ask for the vote.
Bush, the frontrunner, and as usual, the center of attention. Now, a new question for Bush, whether he supports an English-only policy.
What action do you plan to take to show the people that you stand for one nation, one language, rather than a nation linguistically divided?
Governor.
No es la verdad.
Es la verdad, es la verdad, senor.
English is the great language that provides freedom and opportunity, plus we respect other people's heritage in this country.
Including Civil War heritage. Bush has refused to say the Confederate flag should not be flown above South Carolina's Capitol building. Today, he was asked to denounce a supporter who ridiculed the NAACP for demanding that the flag be taken down.
His comments are out of line, and we should repudiate them.
After Iowa, the focus shifts to New Hampshire, where all 6 Republican candidates meet for another debate just days before the state's primary. Nora O'Donnell, NBC News, Washington.
The national holiday is Monday, but today would have been the 71st birthday of Martin Luther King Jr., and it was observed in ways both small and grand. In Chicago, children made birthday cards and decorated a police precinct. King was remembered in Long Beach, California at the annual MLK Birthday Unity Parade, and in Atlanta, a wreath was carried to the civil rights leader's tomb. When NBC Nightly News continues, how big is too big?
Helping people see is our calling. It's what drives us all at LensCrafters, the ability we have to give people better vision.
We all feel that way. It's who we really are as people. When someone comes to LensCrafters, they're asking me to help them see.
The smile that I get when people try on their glasses for the first time, that's what it's all about.
We all have the power to affect a life. It's incredible.
Every hour, every day, we're helping someone see.
Eating Quaker oatmeal can help lower cholesterol. We ate it for 30 days and helped ours go down 12 points. Plus, in the wintertime, it makes everything just a little bit warmer. Quaker oatmeal warms you heart and soul.
Talk to your doctor about Zocor. Zocor, be there.
Just when you thought it was safe to leave your car in the parking lot, something evil will strike. You need a car tough enough to take it on. Chevy Malibu. With a steel safety cage, breakaway mirrors, a 6-layer paint process, and bounce-back bumpers, it's one tough car. Chevy Malibu. be there.
Sunday, on Today's Money, divorce planning, advice on how to avoid a financial fallout, and Miguel, the latest Latin sensation. Sunday on Today.
In focus this evening, setting legal limits on the size of houses. NBC's Dan Lothian explains why some cities felt compelled to take action.
In the upscale Los Angeles neighborhood of Chapman Woods, just east of Pasadena, this 4.5-acre lot remains empty. 2 years ago, a wealthy couple paid $3.5 million for the grounds. They had hoped to build a 21,000-square-foot mansion, but they were turned down by the Los Angeles County Planning Commission in a unanimous 5-0 vote just this past week. It's the latest skirmish in the war against creating so-called monster homes, houses so large they dwarf the rest of the homes in the neighborhood.
As neighborhoods begin to appreciate themselves for what they are, something that's dramatically new and different feels threatening to them and forever changes what they've come to think of as home.
The controversy surrounding it is a good example of a growing problem in communities nationwide, especially with a strong economy where some people are making a lot of money and are willing to spend it on a very big house. Communities such as Aspen, Colorado, which has gone as far as placing a moratorium on the building of homes larger than 3,500 square feet.
Regarding the demolition of single-family homes.
And in San Jose, California, where the issue of monster homes wound up in the laps of the city council.
You're basically having people going to flee San Jose to develop elsewhere.
People have been abusing the existing code to create three-story monster homes in neighborhoods that are predominantly single-story.
The city council on Tuesday approved rules which restrict remodeling and rebuilding in San Jose.
This ordinance accomplishes the balancing between an individual owner's property rights and the protection of the character of a neighborhood.
A balance just settled in the seaside community of Santa Monica. In the 90s, developers transformed quiet tree-lined streets there by putting in monster homes. 2,000-square-foot houses on 50 by 150-foot lots were torn down and replaced by structures 3 times the size. Community activist Doris Sosin led the fight.
They've changed the feeling of the neighborhood. This used to be an eclectic neighborhood where the houses sat very comfortably on the piece of property, and there was backyard barbecues and family picnics.
It took a year of meetings and studies, but the Santa Monica City Council enacted one of the nation's toughest anti-monster home building codes 6 months ago. One solution to the problem a growing number of cities now face: how to handle this new challenge between old and new, individual and community rights. Dan Lothian, NBC News, Los Angeles.
When we continue, graduation day for some students who never spent a second on campus.
We know you want to do more with your photos. Now you can on a Gateway Essential PC that includes a digital camera and the software you need to bring people closer together. All for $39 a month with an Intel Celeron processor. Call 1-800-GATEWAY.
Now there's a free CD-ROM from Strong Investments that can help keep your retirement dreams from slipping away. Just call 1-888-2-STRONG and it's yours free. You're one call away from a strong portfolio.
You won't believe your mouth with this antacid.
That's amazing.
Dissolved almost immediately.
Like, it's gone.
Introducing Maalox Quick Dissolve Chewables, a whole new kind of calcium antacid for heartburn.
It dissolves quickly when you put it in your mouth. Very quick.
New Maalox Quick Dissolve Chewables dissolve faster and more completely than Tums.
Didn't have to dig it out of my teeth. No grit. It's gone.
New Maalox Quick Dissolve Chewable Tablets. Quick dissolve your heartburn away.
Quick dissolve. Maalox.
From 1 Minute Maalox.
Does tossing one of these into your tank kill germs? Well, here's one way to be sure. Lysol Continuous Action Automatic Toilet Cleaner. It not only cleans, it kills germs. No other automatic toilet cleaner kills more. You have our word on it.
The inspiration for the new LeSabre didn't just come from a research center or design facility.
it also came from your family. Introducing the all-new 2000 LeSabre, re-engineered with more safety features than any other car in its class. The new 2000 LeSabre by Buick.
From Arizona tonight, an example of how education is changing in the information age. Here's NBC's George Lewis.
Today's University of Phoenix graduation was unusual in a number of ways. These 207 grads never set foot on the university campus, never attended a lecture, and before this weekend never met their fellow students or their professors in person.
Nice to meet you, too.
So how's it possible for these people to earn college diplomas? Their classes are on the internet. Students like Rick Ferris, who works full-time as a computer engineer, completed his degree at his home in Temecula, California, in the evenings.
With me, there was no choice. I have a very travel-intensive job, and so doing it online was the only way that I was going to be able to get a college degree.
Students read their class lectures on the computer. They ask and answer questions by email and collaborate on projects.
You can log in at your convenience.
And the university, a for-profit institution, has hundreds of instructors and support people to help its rapidly growing online student body.
We grew 60% last year. We went from 6,500 students to over 11,000.
Surprisingly, the University of Phoenix has had online courses for 10 years now, but it wasn't until recent times when internet use began to explode that the idea really caught on. Critics say online education isn't for everyone, that being on a college campus and interacting with professors face-to-face is important to learning, especially for younger students. But Rick Ferris, who's 46, says he did just fine.
I do feel I learned just as much doing it online as from a regular classroom.
Higher education in the new millennium. Virtual classrooms, real degrees. George Lewis, NBC News, Phoenix.
When NBC Nightly News continues in a moment, a Y2K report card for planet Earth.
You can rationalize it all you want, but eventually you're going to get caught.
There's a tan minivan in the parking lot with its lights on. Whoever owns the tan minivan, your lights are on.
Okay, you're busted. It's time to check out the redesigned Mitsubishi Montero Sport. It's only the family car when the family's in it.
Should have used Preparation H. Cool it fast with Preparation H Cooling Gel. Cools on contact for fast relief. Preparation H Cooling Gel cools on contact.
3 minutes from now, a heart attack victim will be rushed into this emergency room. Medication will be injected. IV fluids will be needed. The patient will be protected from infection. Breathing will be assisted. And one more life will be saved.
Nansen? Yes. Hi, I'm Dr. Moore. Her husband's doing fine. Oh, I'm so glad.
Thanks to advanced medical techniques and a material we call plastic.
Vegetables know what they like. Introducing Taste of Life dressings, new from Kraft. They're enriched with vitamin E and made with stuff your salad will love. New Taste of Life dressings from Kraft.
Sunday, John McCain coming on strong in New Hampshire. Can a big win there stop George Bush? Plus, Carville and Madeline fight it out. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
It's like today, only later. Later today, weekdays on NBC.
As we enter the new millennium, a report from the World Watch Institute on the overall health of planet Earth. As NBC's Bob Fall reports, the news is not encouraging.
The report says that while the Dow is going up, the health of the Earth is going down. Forests shrinking, soils eroding, fisheries collapsing, species disappearing.
We are running out of time, and it's now become a race as to whether we can head some of these trends whether we can reverse some of these trends before they get us into serious difficulty.
Like the way water is used, the report says it's being pumped out of the ground faster than it can be replenished by rain, snow, or even by melting glaciers, retreating on either side of the Arctic, says the report, because of rising temperatures. To the World Watch Institute, it's a very slippery slope indeed.
Nature has got no reset button. There is no reliable way to restore any of these huge and highly complex natural systems to some previous state once it begins to do weird things to us.
Mankind has made some progress, says the report. 34 industrial countries have curbed their birth rates. Some areas that have not, like parts of Africa, have seen life expectancy decline.
In Zimbabwe, without AIDS, it would now be 65 years. With AIDS, it was last year 44 years, and is projected to drop to 39 years by 2010.
This traditionally is a doomsday report. The sky is always falling. But this year, the World Watch Institute finds some reason for optimism.
Ironically, it now finds the number of people overnourished and overweight, 1.2 billion, is about the same number as those who do not get enough food. It also finds some areas are switching from fossil fuels to solar power or to using wind, and that even some of corporate America is starting to catch on.
There have been announcements from virtually all of the major companies in the last few years indicating that they're going to get into a new generation of hydrogen fuel cell cars.
Overall, though, the report flashes the caution light, warning that while the realm of information technology, the virtual world, is vibrant, the state of the real world is increasingly troubled. Bob Paul, NBC News, Washington.
Also in Washington today, a dream come true for a 100-year-old woman who had to enter the White House through the back door in the 1950s. It was in and out the front door today for Charlotte Fillmore. During the 1950s, she checked coats on occasion at the White House receptions. Last year, she told friends her dream was to meet President Clinton just the way she did today. An exclusive behind-the-scenes look at Charlotte Fillmore's visit to the White House Monday on Today. And that is NBC Nightly News for this Saturday. I'm John Sigenthaler. Thanks for watching. I'll see you right back here tomorrow night.
NBC News, America's news leader. Dateline Sunday, she was lost in a sea of depression.
Nothing makes you happy. There's no way to find happiness.
Then she found a natural and popular new cure.
SAMe works as well as the standard antidepressants.
But is SAMe the answer, or does it give false hope?
It is a public health menace.
An all-new Dateline Sunday, 7, 6 Central.
He played Opie and Richie, but just added Ron Howard to handle all the fame. I definitely was typecast. How a small-town boy grew up in the spotlight. Headliners and Legends, Monday on MSNBC.
Brenda Braxton, only on Northwest News Channel 8.
Papa Murphy's Premium Choice. Choose our large pepperoni, nearly a pound of 3 cheeses and 70 slices of premium pepperoni, just $6.99. Or choose our large combo. It weighs over 4 pounds with loads of premium salami, pepperoni, sausage, mushrooms, olives, and onions on our fresh crust, just $9.99. Or choose them both and treat the whole crew. Whoa! All the premium taste without the premium price.
Getting a new car is a kick, but there are questions. Should I get this option? Can I afford that option? Do I even have an option? Introducing the Civic Value Package Sedan. Complete with a keyless entry system, air conditioning, automatic transmission, a CD player, and more. Isn't life wonderful when the options aren't extra?
Now get special APR financing as low as 4.9% for 36 months on all new Civics.
A local toddler is found murdered just 1 day before his 3rd birthday.
And tonight, police have a suspect in custody.
Coming up at 6:30, police say this man killed a 2-year-old child.
Also, new at 6:30, counterfeit lift tickets show up at a Northwest ski area.
Plus, new at 6:30, the controversial decision to bring wolves back to Yellowstone. The news is next.
From KGW,
where the news comes first. This is Northwest News Channel 8 at 6:30.
The victim in Portland's first homicide of the year is a toddler. Someone strangled him while his mother was away. Good evening, everyone. I'm Russ Lewis.
And I'm Nancy Francis. Thanks for joining us tonight. The little boy's name was Jacob Huber. Police arrested his mother's boyfriend. Michael Allen White is behind bars tonight, accused of murder. Police say he strangled Jacob at the boy's home in southeast Portland on Thursday.
Mother was away at the time, and he was in sole care of the child. We have a very narrow time focus when these injuries occurred, and again, the information indicates that the boyfriend is our suspect in this case.
The house is sealed off tonight so police can come back and look for more evidence to build their case. White will be charged with aggravated murder on Tuesday.
There is also a sad ending tonight to the search for 83-year-old Ferdinand Pat Stroh of McMinnville. Searchers found his body in Forest Grove. Authorities say the Alzheimer's patient appeared to have died from hypothermia. Stroh disappeared from his home Christmas Day driving a red pickup. Yesterday, searchers found that truck on a gravel road in Forest Grove, and today they found his body about 50 yards from the vehicle.
It was pretty slick out there on the roads overnight and this morning. Freezing temperatures helped cause dozens of traffic accidents. Sanding crews worked as fast as they could, but still there were numerous crashes and spinouts around the Willamette Valley this morning. This is I-205 where a fender bender clogged Saturday morning traffic for about an hour today. Road crews ask all drivers to slow down and use extreme caution when the roads are slick.
Well, conditions also hazardous up in the Cascades tonight, not just for the drivers, but for skiers and snowmobilers as well. All of the snowfall this past week makes the conditions just perfect for an avalanche. News Channel 8's Janelle Wang spent the day in the mountains, and now she has this report.
Todd Call prepares for a thrilling ride with his daughter Amanda. The snowmobilers hit the trails in the Mount Hood National Forest. Call is an advanced rider. He's been snowmobiling for 10 years, but says this activity can be dangerous if you veer off course and head into the backcountry.
Snowmobilers create the highest number of avalanches and have the highest fatality rate because they are snowmobiling in non-controlled environments.
Avalanches can be triggered easily. It could be a skier, a snowshoer, a climber, or a snowmobiler. And right now, snow conditions are prime for one in the Cascades.
You've got 4.5 to 5 feet of new snow up here. Fell on a frozen packed base. It hasn't had time to settle.
There's been so much snow this past week, it's weighing down trees. All this light powder makes it hazardous to go recreating in the backcountry.
If you move off this trail, you just go into a deep powder, and there's no base under it. And so that's when you get a shear, and a snowmobiler may come over a little hill, and what we call side hilling, and they'll be going parallel to the side of that hill, and all of a sudden a slab will break out from underneath of them, and then they end up going down with that slab.
That's why the Call family stays on the broom trails right now. Safety is first. But if snow conditions change, the family will look for more adventure off course. Janelle Wang, KGW, Northwest News, Channel 8.
There are some things you should bring if you are playing in the mountains. A shovel to dig someone out if there is an avalanche up there. A flashlight and fire starters. Also, you may need food and warm clothing just in case you end up spending the night. And if you need to call for help, you should have a whistle and a cell phone. Trail maps and first aid kits are also recommended.
In Washington State, some of the skiers on Snoqualmie Summit are using fake passes. But as Jeff Gradney reports tonight, authorities there are quickly cracking down on the Ski for Free scheme.
Okay, how about if one of you guys go with that group, one of you go with that group? Okay?
Charlie Seitz is a new member of the Snoqualmie Summit Resort staff. He's part of a special crew hired to closely check every single ski pass around.
Smile. Smile, you gotta smile. Yeah, that's you. That's you.
It's been a great ski season here, except for one problem. Growing numbers of people have been caught with counterfeit ski passes. It irritates legal pass holders who pay $500 for the cards.
It's stealing any way you put it. It's stealing a service, so if they get caught, they have to suffer the consequences, I guess.
We're very serious about this. If we catch them, they're going to jail. We're pressing charges, and we have no apologies about that whatsoever.
So far, police have arrested about 24 people for trying to use fake passes like these. They'll be charged with fraud and forgery, both felony crimes.
We're actually kind of surprised to the number of people that have done it, but then pleased that we're catching them as easily and as quickly as we are.
Resort officials say the real cards, much like photo IDs, are usually easy to distinguish from the fake ones. The bogus passes are often just flimsy laminated photocopies stuck to plastic cards.
They're silly, and it's just, I cannot believe that someone thought that they could get away with that.
That was Jeff Gradney reporting from King TV, our sister station in Seattle.
Tomorrow is moving day for the Simon Benson House. The entire house. Crews will roll the historical building 7 blocks up to Portland State University. There it will be restored so everyone can appreciate its beautiful Queen Anne-style architecture. Simon Benson was a wealthy lumberman. A local high school and hotel are named after him. If you'd like to watch the move, head to Southwest 11th and Clay. That's tomorrow morning. The moving begins at 8 a.m.
Do wolves belong in Yellowstone National Park?
Ranchers say no. Of course, environmentalists say yes. Up next, both sides making a federal case out of this argument. Find out who won the latest legal battle.
Plus, if you're looking for something to do this weekend, we have a few suggestions.
Good evening, I'm Bruce Sussman in the First Alert Storm Center. A very windy day on the way for tomorrow. Wind warnings already up for places. We'll talk about that in a few moments. But outside right now, a look from our Northwest Skycam at OMZ and our weather almanac for this date. Sunrise tomorrow at 7:47. And now, our trivia question, Northwest Trivia. If you're feeling sick, you'll be happy to know there are this many physicians in the state of Oregon: 9,793, 10,793, or 11,793. The answer coming up with your windy forecast.
News Channel 8 is closed caption through a generous grant from Sleep Train Mattress Center. Sleep Train, your ticket to a better night's sleep. Tuesday, the Blazers are in Texas to face Hakeem, Rudy T, and Houston. The Blazers, the Rockets. Tuesday night at 5, only on Northwest News Channel 8, your Blazer station.
Eyes of a puppy dog, lips made for sin. You're not dreaming. I'm for real. We got a call.
Hello.
Louis?
Yeah?
Louis?
Want to get away? Now you can. Fly Southwest Airlines coast to coast for $99 or less when you purchase tickets by February 2nd and travel Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday.
You are now free to move about the country.
A transmission problem. That's not what you'd wanted, but when your local AMCO dealer fixes it, he can back it coast to coast with the best warranty and coverage in the business. 1 year unlimited mileage, 3 year 50,000 mile, or lifetime. So what does the offer of an AMCO lifetime warranty mean? It means the experts at AMCO stand behind their work. Not just for today, but for as long as you own your car. Call 1-800-GO-AMCO, AA-MCO.
Thinking about designing your dream home or renovating your present home? Then you need to go to the 2000 Premier Mid-Valley Home Show, January 14, 15, and 16 at the Oregon State Fairgrounds. Come see how the experts do it, from interiors to exteriors, spas to decks. They'll be on hand to answer all your questions, lend professional advice, and show you the latest and greatest in building technology. Best of all, the show is free. Sponsored by Marion Polk Building Industry Association.
Okay, why don't we cut Kevin, Daryl, and some of your old college buddies?
All right, if they can't come, then we certainly aren't inviting your Aunt Edna.
Having trouble trimming down your wedding guest list? Wouldn't it be nice to share this special moment with all your friends and family? Fred Meyer Jewelers and the Blazers have a nice romantic setting for your wedding that seats 20,000 guests comfortably. Visit your nearest Fred Meyer Jewelers and fill out an entry form by January 23rd on why you want to get married in the Rose Garden Arena at halftime of a Blazers game. Listen to Janet 95.5 for details.
Now, back to Nancy Francis and Russ Lewis on Northwest News Channel 8.
Decades ago, all the wolves in Yellowstone National Park disappeared, either killed or scared away. But a few years ago, environmentalists fought to bring them back. Well, now the wolves are threatened again by a legal battle that could go all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. Here is reporter Rusty Dornan.
Wild and elusive, wolves in Yellowstone National Park will stay that way. A federal appeals court upheld the reintroduction of the gray wolf, guaranteeing them the right to roam free.
We're thrilled that the court agreed that the reintroduction of wolves was done legally and that the wolves will not have to be removed from Yellowstone.
After a 60-year absence from that part of the Rockies, 30 wolves were reintroduced in 1995 in Wyoming and parts of Idaho. Ranchers were furious, fearing attacks on livestock. The American Farm Bureau filed suit. In 1997, a federal judge ruled the wolves should be removed, then stayed the order until a higher court could decide. Ranchers say this latest decision is just bad economics.
It's bad news for ranchers and consumers, because the consumers are at the end of this chain of food. We're out there trying to produce food. The federal government, in cahoots with the Clinton administration, is trying to put us out of business.
While a victory for environmentalists, it's bittersweet. Canadian wolves were imported to help build up the population, and that, say some, sold the native population down the river.
The bad news is the Secretary can trade away the health of the wolf as a species in order to protect a certain population. That may not benefit wolves in the long run.
About 120 gray wolves now roam Yellowstone. For park visitors, the benefits have been hearing the call of the wild.
The gray wolf successful in Yellowstone Park. The population there has quadrupled since they were reintroduced 5 years ago. Nancy?
Thanks, Russ. It is time to go back in time at the Mountain Man Trade Show in Gresham. These are the tools the pioneers used. The weapons include antique muzzle loaders, pistols, and knives. The arts and crafts include beads, purses, leatherwork, and knitting. And don't forget the homemade toys.
We had to make about everything, especially if we were poor. That was kites and little cars and skates and whizzers and bows and arrows and slingshots and all of that kind of thing. We couldn't buy them, so we made them. You didn't have to have a lot of money, and you had just as much fun.
The Mountain Man Trade Show runs through tomorrow. It's open from 9 to 3 at the Gresham National Guard Armory. Take a look at what's inside Memorial Coliseum. The sports arena is home to the all-new Home and Landscape Show. Visitors can find all kinds of interesting ideas for inside and out. The exhibits range from tree sculpting to backyard ponds.
The homeowners are coming down here if they're looking to build, remodel, update their home. They can find anything from painting, kitchen cabinetry, countertops, spas. We have home furnishings as well.
The Home and Landscape Show is open tonight until 10 o'clock, and it runs tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Admission is $4 for adults. Those under 18 get in free. And you might want to make sure all your patio furniture is tied down or stored away, and hang on to your hats. Bruce Sussman's going to explain why right now. Bruce?
Well, that's right. And keep the trash cans weighted down as well. Otherwise, they'll end up blowing down the street. This storm that's developing out in the Pacific is going to bring us quite a windy day tomorrow. We'll talk about that in a second. First, let's look outside for your current conditions right now from our Northwest Skycam atop the Pioneer Park building. Of course, you're looking down at Portland's living room. 38 degrees right now, according to our Instant Weather Network, and just 1/100th of an inch of rainfall. Speaking of that, though, we do have quite a bit of rain. Here's NextRad radar, and you can see the heaviest rain focused over the Coast Range right now. It's the yellows, the oranges, and the reds, where there's some heavy rain going on along the Oregon Coast Range. Meanwhile, for most of us, it's just the green, which is a steady, wet kind of evening with plenty of rain on the way. It's just going to be kind of a steady rain tonight, not a big deal. However, out in the Pacific, there's something that will be a big deal, and it's this storm system. Now, the center of it right now is still to our south. Matter of fact, look right here. Can you see how this is developing into a circle? That is the storm center, or the center of low pressure. It's kind of our bullseye. Where it goes, that's where the heavy winds will develop. Now, tonight at 11 o'clock, here's that same storm center that we're looking at. You can see where it's going to be, right along the border of California and Oregon. By early tomorrow morning, about 4 a.m., we'll say, the southern Oregon coast is having some pretty good winds. Then look at this, gets closer right up along the central and northern Oregon coastline By breakfast time tomorrow, we'll see strong winds there early in the day. Then this storm turns the corner and cuts inland just above the Willamette Valley by midday tomorrow. That's when we expect to see strong winds coming from the south right up the Willamette Valley all the way through the Portland-Vancouver area and even a little bit to the north of that. Then this thing finally moves off later in the day, allowing our winds to slacken. But here's what we're expecting as far as wind gusts tomorrow. Along the coast, gusts could be up to 85 miles an hour. Fortunately, in the valley, we're looking at wind gusts of around 60 miles an hour. It could be worse, so that's why we're fortunate at this point. It looks like that's all we're going to manage to get out of the storm. And in the Cascades, gusts to about 75 miles an hour. So I guess you could say it might be a chance to ski uphill tomorrow if you position yourself the right way. 39 was our high in Portland today until an hour ago. 39 in Salem, east of the Cascades. 52 in Baker City, 40 in Pendleton, some warm weather. Then we had 41 in Portland. That's the current temperature now. We've actually warmed up with the rainfall that's moved in, and east of the Cascades, temperatures around the freezing mark. Meanwhile, for the coast then, a high wind warning in effect for tomorrow, rain to showers, but the real story is the wind with gusts to 80, 85 miles an hour along the beaches. A gale warning in our marine forecast for the Willamette Valley. Gusty winds tomorrow, gusts to about 60 miles an hour. For the gorge, things are looking similar, although the winds won't be quite as strong because the storm doesn't line up just right. But we'll see rain and snow early on in the gorge and then turning over to all rain later tomorrow morning. Highs in the mid to upper 40s, and by the way, our lows tonight should stay above freezing most places in the valley, and that means you won't have to scrape your windshield. Should be safer driving tomorrow morning on our streets and highways. High wind watch for the Cascades with gusts to about 75 miles an hour, another 6 to 8 inches of snow at pass levels, and snow levels dropping to 2,500 feet late tomorrow. Central and eastern Oregon, rain or snow for you. Tonight, quite a bit of snowfall going on once the snow machine gets going, then turning over to rain most places tomorrow. And for the Portland-Vancouver area, rain, maybe a few hilltop snowflakes tonight because it's chilly, but then tomorrow we're talking about the wind mainly, with gusts to around 60 miles an hour, 47 in Portland. And again, Monday, we get a break from all the action with some sunshine. That'll be nice. All right, let's recap our trivia question now relating to doctors. If you're feeling sick, you'll be happy to know there are this many physicians in the state of Oregon.
This is the first time in the millennium we've started a trivia question with, if you're feeling sick. We just think that's really interesting.
The flu season, you know, is going on.
Okay.
And the answer is?
The answer is B, 10,793 physicians.
Thank goodness. I feel better already.
Does that include the governor? Did they include him in that number?
I don't know if he was included in that survey, but we need some doctors who can do something about the wind tomorrow. That would be really cool.
That's your job. You are the weather doctor.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Bruce.
All right.
Blazers in action tonight, and last time we checked, they were getting walloped.
Here's Joe Becker with an update.
Well, Russ, they're still getting walloped. As a matter of fact, Rasheed Wallace ejected for the second straight night. We've got highlights of the Blazers and their game with the Mavericks from Dallas coming up next.
Rasheed Wallace with a power move to the basket. When you need to know, when you need it right now, as it's happening, KGW.com. News, traffic, and weather live with a click of your mouse. KGW.com right now.
What's a four-letter word that starts with an F and gets people all riled up? Survey says... Ooh, that was close. This is a family show.
Family Feud with host Louis Anderson.
America needs a show with family values. And the higher the values, the better.
Family Feud. It's the same feud with a new attitude.
Weekdays at 1 on News Channel 8.
Okay, why don't we cut Kevin, Daryl, and some of your old college buddies?
All right, if they can't come, then we certainly aren't inviting your Aunt Edna.
Having trouble trimming down your wedding guest list? Wouldn't it be nice to share this special moment with all your friends and family? Fred Meyer Jewelers and the Blazers have a nice romantic setting for your wedding that seats 20,000 guests comfortably. Visit your nearest Fred Meyer Jewelers and fill out an entry form by January 23rd on why you want to get married in the Rose Garden Arena at halftime of a Blazers game. Listen to Jammin' 95.5 for details.
family need more than one phone? Then come to Car Toys for an unbeatable selection of family calling plans. Right now, for just $39.99 a month, you can get 300 shared minutes provided by AirTouch Cellular and 2 free digital phones after $100 rebate. That's like 2 phones for the price of 1. Activate now and get a year of free long distance. Only $39.99 a month for 300 shared minutes, 2 free digital phones, and free long distance. But only for a limited time at Car Toys.
A better way to go.
I can't wait. At Wix Furniture, if you want your furniture
Within 48 hours, you'll have it.
Imagine that.
That's any in-stock furniture.
I hate to wait.
$70 million of home furnishings ready and waiting for you.
Oh, my wife could take some lessons from these guys.
It's the final 36 hours of Wix Furniture's biggest sale of the year. Spectacular savings from one end of the store to the other. Plus, put no money down with no monthly payments and no finance charges due for 1 year with the Wix charge.
Don't keep me waiting.
Now, with Joe Becker, this is News Channel 8 Sports.
Blazers back in action, as we mentioned, and they're playing the Mavericks as we speak. Blazers looking for their 5th win in a row. And we head down to Dallas where the game got underway shortly after 5. Detlef Schrempf scores inside. He's got 10 points. You know, he used to play in Dallas first 3.5 years of his career. Sean Rooks, though, knocks down the jumper. Dallas couldn't miss anything in the first half, led by 21. Rasheed Wallace off the break. He's got 11 points. Nice dunk here, but he was ejected in the third quarter for an elbow, and the Mavs are leading 83-69 late in the third quarter. The NBA hit Wallace hard with a $7,500 fine for his eruption last night. Less than 3 minutes into the quarter, the third quarter, Rasheed picked up a foul, picked up 2 more technicals, and he was gone. He had to be restrained by his teammate Scottie Pippen. The NBA fined Wallace for yelling at the officials and failing to leave the court quickly following an ejection. Blazers picked up 8 technicals in all, including a pair by Coach Dunleavy. They won the game, though, 105-83. We checked the board, so that makes 2 games in a row that Rasheed has been ejected. And the Lakers are beating Minnesota by a score of 57-49 at the half. Beavers looking for their first win in the Pac-10. Couldn't get it, though. Late in the game, Brian Weathers with a 3, and Cal's up 61-56. Brian Jackson hits this jumper to cut it to 3, but they couldn't get any closer. Cal wins the game 71-65. Beavers' 3rd straight loss at home. Check the board, and it's UCLA over North Carolina 71-68. And in women's basketball, Oregon lost to Stanford 78-62. By the way, the Oregon men host Stanford tonight. We'll have highlights at 11 o'clock. For the second week in a row, a close game and a blowout. In fact, the blowout was the second biggest in NFL playoff history. Head to Jacksonville. The Jags 7-1 at home this year, and it didn't take long before Mark Brunell to Jimmy Smith, 8-yard strike, 7-0 less than 5 minutes into the game. Dolphins turn. Dan Marino fires it right to Aaron Beasley of Jacksonville, interception. Dolphins could do nothing right. The Jaguars could do nothing wrong. Late in the first quarter, it's Fred Taylor, 90-yard touchdown. He wound up with 135 yards rushing. The Jags with 520 yards in total offense. Marino was 5 of 16, only 46 yards passing and 2 interceptions. Here he fumbles the ball. Tony Brackens knocked it away. Brackens picked it up. He was celebrating, didn't realize the ball was still alive. His friends are saying, "Get in there." He scores the touchdown, and it's 24-0 after 1. It was 41-7 at halftime. Finally, the sprinklers went off in the third quarter. Jags win at 62-7. Biggest blowout since the Bears beat the Skins 73-0, 1940. Speaking of the Skins, they were Tampa Bay against the Buccaneers. Defensive struggle. 3-0 at halftime. Skins come up with the big play. Opening kickoff of the second half, Brian Mitchell takes it the distance. 100 yards of pay dirt, 10-0 Washington. They made it 13-0, but